Mitra and Bandhuvam, welcome to South Asia Maps. This is your presenter Dr. J. Reddy. We are continuing our presentation on human ecology predicament. This is part 95. The topic of today's presentation is, you see, we have a human here, just stomach or gut I have represented. Again a human here, stomach or gut we have represented here in this icon. Human stomach here filled with food. Human stomach filled with fossil fuel. How do we connect these two? That is the point of discussion today. Food is essentially, we have represented a corn kernel, that is the maize kernel. It can be the rice, potato, wheat, sorghum or grains, millets, anything, so on food. Here the fossils we have represented with the the oil drums and the petrol station, the oil pumps. We have omitted like the coal and natural gas. They are the oil, fossils, fossil fuels. They are filling the humans. That means the human stomachs or human bodies or entities are extensions of the coal pits, the oil wells, the gas fields, where the fossils come. Because the most of the people on the planet eat food coming from industrial farming, industrial agriculture, green revolution and so on, which is a basis of fossil fuels, the tractors, the machines, the combiners, harvesters running on the fossil fuels, made with the fossil fuel base, pesticides, herbicides, everything. So the stomachs and guts filled with the fossil fuels. And if you extend broadly, instead of gut, humans with food, filled humans with fossil, humans also run the automobiles, which are nothing but extensions of fossil fuel. So the humans as extensions of food, humans as extensions of fossil, that is the topic of discussion today. And if you are new to my education channel, and I have made more than 330 or so presentations, you can go and look at them. That is at South Asia Maps J. Reddy. So in this presentation we are looking at part 95, you see here, part 95, that is the human stomachs filled with the food or filled with the fossil fuels. Other presentations also you can look at in the playlist of our channel. This icon represents industrial farming, and this is the fossil fuel base. Detritus is essentially an organic matter, dead organic matter, decaying organic matter. If you cut a tree and leave it, afterwards start decaying, that is detritus. If any dead organism, plant or animal, is a detritus. And the millions of years back, there used to be microorganisms in the trees. They have dead and they are buried under the soil. The heat and pressure converted them, called metamorphosed them into coal pits, oil wells, natural gas wells. Metamorphosis means just essentially changing the form, conversion. So these fossils are detritus, historically dead organic matter, metamorphosed, changed, converted into fossil fuels, coal, oil, natural gas. Historically, before the invention of industrial farming, humans depend on the agriculture product, both animals and non-human animals. Animals, we are non-human animals, human animals. So Animals only depended on agriculture project, chimpanzees or monkeys and giant pandas and so on. And humans predominantly eat agricultural products, and also like indirectly the prey, like the killing a deer or something like that. Essentially a byproducts of agricultural sustenance. Later invention of the fossil fuels, they start manufacturing the urea fertilizers, the phosphate rock fertilizers, and the green revolution, pesticides. They spray the land with them, produce immense amount of the food, convert them and eat that food. Their numbers jumped from a modest 1 billion in 1818 to, after 200 years later, 8 billion. That is humongous. So previously human guts were made with the food. Now human guts are made with the fossil fuels. Historically, humans require around about 2500 kilocalories energy to survive. Their domestic and catered plants and animals provided them. That means they were living in agricultural niches essentially. That means their stomachs were consumers of agricultural products, animals. The stomachs of humans now are consumers of agricultural products for fossil fuels. That is the difference. Detritus we saw, the metamorphosed version of detritus we saw, that is the coal pits, oil wells and gas fields are metamorphosed versions. Human, because they indirectly the fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides, tractors, combiners, all are derived from them. How the tractors are derived from the oil base means you take certain coal and iron and so on, manufacture this, convert these using the oil base manufacturing into these machines and run them on the oil. So they have oil component mostly. So this is the product of military industrial complex niches, human stomachs. How we have put the car there? The car is a product of detritivore. Car is a detritivore, detritus eating. Vor means eater, like voracious, like omnivore eats everything, herbivore eats the plant material, carnivore eats the carnal or fresh, and animal, something like that. Detritivore eats the detritus, decaying organic matter. That's what it is. These three we can give. If you extend broadly, like humans have like legs, you walk like 10 kilometers, you run like that. That means you have a certain amount of transportation. And if you have like horse or bullock cart, you feed the fodder to them, you have some more transportation. You think like you have very big legs, like prosthetic organs on which you run 100 kilometers per an hour. That is nothing but a car. This is the prosthetic entity of a human body manufactured from detritus, runs on detritus every day. Imagine the humans running on a car, part of human system, human body, an extension of gut, and a straw sitting on the petrol tank here, that is pointing to somewhere in the Middle East, particular oil wells. So that is the detritivore. Humans are using this extensively now, most of the people, even the two-wheelers and things like that. So you can also think they are also part of detritus system. So in broad sense, we have tried to map them to the human guts using the fossil fuel, essentially extensions of our human bodies. There are nearly 1400 or 1500 million cars, not counting the tractors, buses and trucks, lorries and so on the planet Earth, not counting the two-wheelers, which are even the millions, even more, round about 2022 on the planet Earth today. So the humans become extensions of human guts and human bodies become extensions of fossil fuel because humans started drawing down, drilling for minerals, metals and coals. That's why here we represented a oil well here, the oil drilling well, and this is the tractor here. They become extensions. That is the drawing down. And we also see detritivore. Detritus is the decaying organic matter, dead organic decaying. Algal pond, where the algae are washed, here they are dead, so detritus. Certain other, because certain like plant material, nutrients coming, them algae live on this. Those are detritivores. Here we have crushed the you can see these grapes, and that grapes after the harvesting, they are detritus. Grape juice rich in sugars, yeast growing there, so they are detritivores. Algae are detritivores, yeast are detritivores. Humans, modern humans, eating food, consuming food of industrial agriculture are essentially detritivores. Cars are also detritivores. Once manufactured, in order to car to live, survive, to run, they require the detritus base. This is the detritus base. Even if you run the car as electrically, still the energy has to come from the coal. That is detritus. So these are all detritivores essentially in nature. Thus, what we have to keep in mind, that human stomachs or human bodies, our human mass or human entities or their extensions, prosthetic cars, they are no more filled with the food, they are now filled with the fossils. As our fossil fuels are declining very rapidly, within like 2-3 decades we will not have much oil and natural gas. What will be the fate of the humans, Homo colossus, now so comfortably, luxuriantly living in an artificial, temporarily provided detritus? Is the human predicament. That is the concern for the people who look humans from the ecological perspective. That is the human dilemma. That is the human impasse. We are struck, and most of these issues are looked very critically in the Overshoot book, as well as the Bottleneck. It's a sequel from the work of William R. Cotton Jr., Professor Emeritus from Washington State University, Pullman, who passed away, I think, 4-5 years back or so. Thank you very much, Mitrom and Bandhuvam. See you later on other presentations. This is your presenter, Dr. Reddy. It will be greatly appreciated if you take some time and go and access the channel and recommend your friends and put your comments or notes, any criticisms, compliments or suggestions to improve this education channel. See you later.